Hey guys, so I have an outdoor market coming on, and I think in the last video I showed y'all the tent. What I would like to do is I would like to make like one of those like bunting banners. I'm gonna put some pictures up from my Pinterest board for my inspiration. Let me show you guys the fabric that I got the other day. I am so excited to work with it. Now, I will say that I did test out this little template that I made for myself. So this green is already cut out and traced, but I think it is such a nice color. And then I got, I think, 3 more colors. There's like an auburn color. I got like a burgundy color. And then I also got a brown, which is still really close to the burgundy, but I really love all of these shades. Now, the first step I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and iron all this fabric out. I don't want to have wrinkles whenever I'm sewing this together. And if you couldn't tell, I did get a new iron. As much as I loved my pink one, it did sort of give out on me, which is a little bit disappointing. But, you know, it is what it is. Got to make do. And this is a heavy duty iron. I think this was like $240 with tax. And you're probably thinking, Drake, what the fuck? Why are you spending $240 on an iron? And the answer is I am tired of having to constantly replace my $50 iron. So I would rather just get one nice thing and make that one last as compared to continuously and repeatedly replacing something that I know is just pissing me off. So, yeah. But we're going to go ahead and keep ironing. I do notice a considerable difference with ironing with this one. It feels a lot more sturdy and a lot heavier, which is, you know, good for when you are ironing because you want that weight to get out those wrinkles. I've also switched to using distilled water instead of my tap water because that was part of the problem that I've been having with my iron in terms of calcium buildup. And what I should have done from the start is just use distilled water. But I thought I knew better than the instructions. I don't, apparently. So, you know, you live and you learn. I'm going to go ahead and just iron it this way. And so the next step would be to get out the template and start drawing this on. Let me move y'all real quick. Welcome back to all the different angles I like to put y'all at. But to trace, depending on the color of the fabric, I either use a water-soluble blue ink, or I like to use the air disappearing one. Because I'm working on all this stuff right now, I'm just gonna go ahead and use the air disappearing one. If this is like a project where I'm gonna mark it and then put it down and not work on it for a couple of days, I will then use the blue one. But if this is something that I'm working on like right in the moment, I'm just gonna go ahead and use the purple one, which depending on what kind of color fabric you're using, can sometimes be a little bit difficult to see. I don't know if you see any of that, for instance, but I'm gonna go ahead and get my scissors and we are gonna go ahead and cut this out. To keep my fabric together, I do like placing clips along the edges of the fabric, just so that way when I start cutting, I don't like misalign them. And so yeah, we're gonna just go from there. Start cutting. Depending on the type of scrap that I get, I will save the fabric because I do enjoy using scrap fabric for other projects, and I will be doing a video on that later. Besides that, I throw them away if they're too small to use. But so now those 2 pieces are out. Okay, that's better. Like tiny strips like this, I just go ahead and throw away. I don't really have a use for something like that yet. I know some people like to use strips like that for stuffing, but I haven't made anything that requires stuffing. I don't plan to as of now. So I'm just gonna go ahead and throw that away. Alrighty. So now cut that to the clips off. And so now I'm just gonna go ahead and iron this again, just to get out any leftover wrinkles that I might have. And people will tell you, oh, don't iron. You're supposed to press and lift down, press and lift up. I don't follow that rule just because I find that is mostly for people who quilt. And here's the final shape. Well, you know what? I'll show you all the final shape later. Right now, we are still cutting and ironing and doing all that jazz. I could get one more banner pennant out of this. And I know some people might do the double pointed one instead of the single point that I'm making now. But I want all these to stay consistent, so I'm just going to keep going with the single. I know some other people also like to make them into triangles, and that's like the majority of my inspiration are just like little triangles. However, I like this shape better, and so that's what we're doing. Now we're just going to redraw. I'm just using cardstock, by the way. You don't have to use anything special for this. Sometimes if it's a pattern that I reuse constantly, I have a guy up in Greenville who will laser cut me some shapes, and I will use those repeatedly. But I only have those made for my coin pouches and my stationery sleeves. I want to get them made for the book sleeves, but I just haven't sold enough to justify that yet. So not that it's particularly expensive, it's really not, but it's more so of I don't know if this is going to be, or if the book sleeves are going to be a product that I make all the time. I enjoy making them. I enjoy using the snaps. So far, they just haven't really performed as well as I thought they would. Yep. So a scrap like this, I will actually keep just because I know I can probably use it for something. And then we're going to go ahead and do another one. There you go. Alrighty, so now we can change colors. Because this red is so much darker than my marker, I'm just going to go ahead and iron this on the wrong side or right sides together. So that way when I start marking, I can see everything and I won't have to worry about not being able to cut accurately. So I'm going to go ahead and flip this way so you guys can see better. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I have been going back and forth with my editing style. I find it that I have easier time recording. Let me move y'all again. Yeah, that's a lot better. I find it that like I have an easier time recording when I just yap. But then I feel like the majority of my video is trash because I'm not like showing anything. Part of that problem was because I didn't have a camera. Now I do, so that's pretty cool. Now I don't have to worry about my phone dying all the time. As you can see, I can barely see the marks on this. Part of the reason is because one, I think the marker is dying and running out, because when they're fresh and really juicy, these are so vibrant. It doesn't really matter what brand you use. As you saw, I use the Wall Whack brand. Again, these are, you know, you can find them anywhere at this point. Let's see. But yeah, I have completely started ignoring my TikTok and Instagram. Not that I was ever good at Instagram. I'm not, never was. But TikTok is slacking because I am constantly thinking about what to do on here. And because TikTok is so short form, it feels, I'm not going to say it feels like a waste of time to make short form videos. It's just the fact that because I'm spending so much time focusing on long form and focusing on scripting, that it just doesn't seem very efficient for me to try and juggle things right now. I know some people that are able to reuse clips off of their YouTube to make short forms, but I find that the aspect ratios and the formatting for YouTube just not work too well. Everything is like weirdly zoomed in on TikTok for me. And so, like, I don't know. I just don't like all the juggling. Let me see if I can get the full thing in here. I mean, that's not the full thing, but you guys get the picture. I have not decided yet if I want to start using or if I want to make these with a special trim or anything like that. Just because I haven't used trim before. like ever. That is really new to me. And I already spend a lot of money on supplies to where I hesitate spending money on anything isn't tried and true yet, which is really ironic considering the fact that I've spent so much money on branding. And yeah, I do have to say though, I feel like I have significantly improved with my editing. I'm getting better. I'm trying to figure out how I like to edit my videos. I know the past couple videos have been a little bit more scripted than normal. I'm trying to get used to like the whole vlog thing because, you know, as I said, I feel like I just talk a lot of nothing and I don't actually know what to keep and what to throw away. It feels like I'm just constantly over editing, and that sort of sucks because like this could very easily be one of my scripted videos. All I gotta do is just drown out the audio for this video, speed it up, and yeah, it can be reused. I wish you guys can see the marker like I can. I promise you I'm not messing this up. It's too early in the project to be making mistakes. But yeah, so that looks good. So we're gonna go ahead and move on to our last color, which is this, a very, very nice brown. I have noticed that a lot of the colors for this project are really dark. Really, I think only the green and the the green and the orange auburn stand out. And the burgundy and the brown are very, very similar, which can be hard to see the difference. I don't know how well the camera's picking up on that color. And I fumbled my pen. Here is what the blue looks like. Again, don't know how well it will show up, but you know, I think that shows up just a little bit better than the purple. It's also because this marker is just a little bit newer than the other one. Go ahead and place my clip so I don't lose my place. And yeah, off we go. I feel like I have a very high energy editing style right now, or at least with one of the ones that I'm editing now, which is a little bit uncharacteristic for me. But I don't know, because there's always a difference between watching videos that I like and trying to recreate them. Like I like watching studio vlogs and watching people, you know, do their own thing. Because I like to have that as background noise, you know? I like to feel like I have company in the house. When I'm crafting, it's like parallel play. It's not like I'm just doing this by myself. So, yeah. But whenever I try to do vlogs, I feel like I'm a loser. Like I'm just sitting here, that I'm not stimulating enough, that I'm not interesting enough, that I have nothing to say. But in reality, none of that really matters, you know? Because like at the end, I'm just doing this because I like to do it. You know, if you're here, you're here. If you're not, then good for you. You know, do what you want. Here is the brown. Again, I really love how rich the colors are. And then let me iron this and we'll finish this up. And then I will see how much we actually have. Just because I don't really know how much or like how long this banner is actually going to be, because I wanted to, because as you can see, I'm getting 3 out of each color, and there is 4 colors. So that's 12 banners. And so that means it's going, if I do the banners without like a backing color, like a separate, you know, basically a trash color, then I'm going to have it be 6 banners long. And I just don't know if that's going to be long enough for what I need it for. But at the same time, if I use a trash color to stretch out these colors, then I'm going to fall into the, man, what was I saying? I swear to God, if I use a trash color, then I can make these stretch longer. But if I don't, then this is going to be a reversible banner where like people from inside the booth can see it. But I don't know, it's like one of those small details. This fabric wasn't specifically hard to get. It was at my local quilt shop. So again, if I needed to, I could get more. It's not that big of a problem. It's more so I don't know what kind of look I want to go for. Because like either way, I don't think the back and the front are going to match too well. Because if I have 12 banners, it really looks like they're going to be mixed and matched, which is fine. You know, it's more so of I have to commit to a style before I start sewing it together. Because if I decide to match the front and the back together, then I have to make sure that I go back to get more of these and that they don't like go out of stock, which I don't think they will, but you know, I can't tell the future. So we'll see how it is. I so want to just go ahead and get this done. I think I'm just going to go ahead and mismatch the colors. And so because I have 3 of each, I am going to see what looks best together and then just show you guys what that looks like. All right, guys. So I am absolutely obsessed with these colors. These are absolutely gorgeous. I don't know what I want to see. I honestly feel like I will have to go back and get some more colors just because I feel like it's going to be an absolute waste if I don't, and I can't fit them all in this view. Well, I guess I can sort of do that, but again, not perfect. This is 4 wide. If I match the front color with the back color, I'm only going to get a 1/6 wide, and I just don't think that's going to be enough. So I'm going to go ahead and do the mixed colors. I can't get over how good my hair looks today, because typically, and y'all know this, typically my hair looks like shit. So I am sort of killing it today. Oh yeah. So I finished the first one. The edges are a little bit rough. I decided to add like a secondary color just because I think it really pops. Like from a distance, you know, it definitely has that flair. Looking at it close up, it sort of looks awful. Granted, this is like the throwaway pancake. I'm working on another one. Here it is. As you can tell, I got the edges to be a lot cleaner, which is great. And I'm also adding that another secondary color to, you know, sort of help it pop. There we go. Yeah. And again, it's not perfect. It's supposed to look handmade. And I know some people could be like, oh, Drake, why are you doing this? You could be doing so many other things. But since I'm not really worried about inventory right now, I sort of have the freedom to work on something in regards to my booth design, which is really exciting. I don't think I have enough of these to make the garland like I wanted to. Because like essentially, originally I was going to just sew the top of here onto like a fabric garland, but because I'm doing these beadings or this beadwork, I made a little channel so I can put some cording through. And so I can hopefully, if I decide to change these or add some more stitching, I can take them off the cording, redo them, put them back on. If I get some new colors, you know, it gives me a little bit more flexibility because I don't want to put so much effort and time into something that I'm not actually going to use. And my goal with this is to make something that, one, matches my branding, two, is whimsical, and I don't know, just makes me sort of feel proud and gives a good experience, not only to the people who come into my tent, but also to, you know, to make me feel like I made something that brings people joy. And the fact that I can now, you know, share that joy with y'all in terms of showing y'all my progress, that, you know, that means a lot to me. And that is really exciting. I think we focus way too much on instant gratification sometimes, and I have a hard time with managing stimulation in terms of when I watch YouTube. I also go on my phone, but because of that, because I have two different audios going on, I don't hear the YouTube video, and that's awful, you know? And so in order for me to process what I'm doing with YouTube, I do embroidery or I do hand stitching like this. So that way, you know, I don't have to rewatch the same video multiple times. If I'm just listening to music, I do my sewing, mainly because if I have a YouTube video going, that's actually like important in content. I don't like to sew with my machine because the amount of noise that it makes at the speed that I go is just a little bit too loud. But if I'm listening to, you know, my playlists or, you know, podcasts or music or whatever, it's not as bad because, again, I'm the type of person that listens to the same playlist over and over and over again. Thank you, autism. So it's really not as much of a distraction. It's more so to just help me have some background noise. Another thing that I like to do when I sew is I like to have other sewing YouTubers. I really enjoy like the vlog style content. I watch a lot of XOXO Charlie. I watch a lot of, I forgot her name. Oh my God. She's Australian. Carly B Sewing. I'm pretty sure that's the one. I find her personality to be really bubbly and really inspiring. I'm very proud of her for all the stuff that she does. Sometimes, like, I wish I could experience like half of the joy that she experiences. Like, for example, she sewed her own wedding dress. I think that is so cool. I'm a man. I don't get to wear a wedding dress. And all of men's fashion is utterly disappointing. And so for whenever I get married, I don't really have a clue about what I could do to, you know, make it special and handmade. Because, like, yes, I could sew a suit, Well, I'm not that advanced. Granted, like she had to make like 14 toiles or something for just the corset. And I'm sure that if I spent enough time learning garment making and learning tailoring, I could probably make my own suit. However, suits are boring. I mean, yeah, you could have certain things to like make them really nice, but overall, even the best men's suit is still a fraction of the whimsy that comes along with women's wedding dresses. It's sort of hard to thread it. Sometimes when you get like threads that are these different lengths, it can get a little bit harder to thread the needle. I have a needle threader over yonder, but I'm not going to get up. I'm just going to power through it. Stop looking at me. You're not getting up here. There's no room. My cats. I love them. Sometimes his lack of awareness for personal space also gets to me, where I'll have something like this that's in my lap that's taking up space, and poor boy just won't acknowledge it, think that I'm being selfish with my space, and then jump on my lap. Which sometimes, you know, isn't that big of a problem. Sometimes it is, because there really isn't enough space. And then he starts sliding. And when he starts sliding, he gets his claws out and he tears up my thighs. This is awful. I'm trying to weave this end in so that way I could get a new piece. Again, I'm not worried about this project being too perfect, because again, this is just going to be on the top of my tent. No one's really going to be looking at it that close. And plus, perfection kills creativity. I think another reason of why the color on this side isn't popping out the same way as this side is because these beads are more off to the side, whereas these beads here are more of on top of the actual fabric. And because there's that lack of spacing, and I'm using I'm using the top stitching as a reference, there's just less space for me to make that color distinction, which is not ideal, but like I sort of like the look of the beads being on top. It's definitely a lot cleaner. And again, this is just minor detailing. This is going to be flapping in the wind. No one's really going to see it the way I see it, which is fine. And I have all these other ones to make. So if I really wanted to make them different, I definitely have that freedom. I know that with like embroidery or with just like hand stitching, some people can get really bored and they don't want to do the same thing every single time. In fact, I have run out of the seed beads, like the very specific color that I've been using for the past two. And so now I have to pivot and use a different color, which is fine. I mean, there are a couple of different shades of that like brass antique look that I like. So again, I have some flexibility in terms of that. But yeah, I am chilling. I have been editing another video. I think I've been editing my market prep video. That video is a little bit of a disappointment for me, just because I forgot to actually get footage of the market. Don't know how that happened, probably because I was like stressed and overstimulated, and I really just wanted to get everything set up. And then immediately when the market started, I had like 4 or 5 orders like the first hour of the market, which is great. You know, it was definitely really, really exciting. I got the majority of my orders at the first hour of the market or so, and then petered off. It was sort of dead for a couple hours. You know, when that happens, you just chat with the other vendors. My partner ended up taking a nap in my car because it was really boring. He's super supportive in terms of my small business. He went to like Home Depot to grab me a power bank for my phone because I haven't gotten one of those yet. So again, super supportive. He gets really tired at the actual markets though, because there's just nothing really for him to do, and which is fine. Like I'm perfectly capable of managing the market on my own. The other vendors were really cool, and I could use the bathroom and they would just watch my stall. I say stall, it was a table, a pretty table. I liked it. I definitely overestimated how much space I actually had. There was a lot of product that I felt like I didn't get to display properly, but that's okay, because with this next outdoor market, I feel like I may not have enough space, or I'll have enough space. What I mean is I don't think I'll have enough displays. There were a couple of displays that like I didn't get to use, but I also need to get 2 more tables. I need to buy a 6-foot table and a 4-foot table, because I want to try out that like zigzag or that like Z shape booth setup. I think that would be really cool. And then I also need to order those table covers for those tables. I should go ahead and probably order that this week so that way they all show up in time. Otherwise, I'm going to look stupid. But besides that, life has been going pretty good. A lot of people have been giving me attention on Etsy in terms of favoriting my items, which is really cool. I think I have finally figured out my schedule for the year in terms of when I'm going to put effort into markets versus when I'm going to put effort into my Etsy. I don't like the thought of listing on my Etsy without like not being out of market season. I think my market seasons are going to be, I want to say March through May, and then I'm going to give myself a couple months to rest because I also don't like the thought of doing markets in the summer. I know a lot of people have a lot of success with that. However, I don't like the sun. I don't like being outside, and I don't like sweating. Call me what you want, but that's a sensory nightmare for me. And I'm just not going to do something that's going to kill my mood and then make me unbearable in front of like strangers. So, you know, I am going to take the summer off. I'm going to take that time to list all of my products that I have left over on my Etsy, just so that way I can get that updated, because I do definitely go through phases of I list stuff and then it sort of stays dead. And then I do another drop. And so, because like I definitely don't want to list something while I'm in the season, sell it at a market, and then also while I'm out of town, have a different person buy it online, and then I may potentially be sold out. So it's just easier for me to wait until I'm done to update my Etsy shop. So yeah. And then so after the summer, beginning of fall, I think my first market in fall is September 19th. That should be a Saturday. I'm going to a farm sanctuary. It's a vegan market. It's in Union. I've never been, but I'm excited. It's going to be an outdoor space. Hopefully the weather won't be too bad. What else? There's a lot of yapping. This video is supposed to be like a scripted video, but honestly, it just might be a vlog. I do have a video that I'm putting in a lot of effort for, where I am doing a bunch of scripting and a bunch of planning. And so maybe it would be nice to have something that's a little bit less effort. However, I find it I take a lot more time with vlog videos because I'm not too sure about how to edit them quite yet. Whereas with scripted ones, I'm definitely a lot cleaner and a lot faster. However, my videos do become a lot shorter, which is fine. But the past couple of videos, I think I've really struggled to hit 8-minute mark, especially the market one that I'm currently editing. I've been working on different settings with my camera, and originally the video was supposed to be like 40 minutes long, and then all the different types of audio was atrocious because during that time I had got my new mic, I got the new camera, I had clips of where I was just using my phone with no mic, I had clips of just my phone with the mic, I had clips of the mic with the camera with different lighting. It was a nightmare to edit and experience because, again, I'm not like into color grading yet. And there was a whole bunch of what I felt to be nothing. So I, scrapped a whole bunch of it. And so if that video feels disjointed, that's why. Again, not too worried about it at the point with YouTube where I'm still throwing stuff at the wall and I'm making art. And I'm doing it for me. And here comes Rain, my beloved little girl. Please stop. And they never understand that I have needles in my hands. And so they just hop on without consequence. Thankfully, we haven't had an accident yet. But can I help you? I love you too, sweet baby girl. And Vincent, the jealous boy that he is, he will see Rain getting loved on. And then he'll want affection. And then he'll try to jump up here with Rain still on the chair. I can't. Can I help you? My sweet baby girl, can I help you? She's very cute. But yeah, I am just about done with this piece. I'm doing the last finishing stitches. Oh boy, you just want my attention, sweet baby girl. Don't bite me. Don't bite me. Snip. Let me get that other thread. Snip. I'll worry about that one later. But here it is. I think it looks really cool. Here's the back side. I did decide to do alternating stitches, and with this little channel, again, to some people, it might not look finished. It might look weird. But with this hanging where I'm thinking it's going to hang, it's still going to be reversible. The stitching on the back of these aren't, at least for this one, I think the stitching on the back of the first one. Here's the first one. It definitely has the vibe. It's a little bit messier. Here's the back of the first one. Again, nothing special. I think I do like the second one more in terms of how it turned out. So yeah, I have some twine that I could put through the channels that I made. However, I don't like this feeling of twine. I'm probably just going to get some cording and call it a day. But yeah, let me see if I could get Rain up here for you. Hi, baby. Yeah. All right, guys. So my sewing machine is being serviced. So we are back to just doing hand embroidery stuff. I think I have to do the secondary color of this one. And then I got to finish off 2 more. And then that will be all of the banners that I have on hand. And then after that, I might have to get some more fabric and, repeat the steps. Or I'm just going to go ahead and get the cording and finish it off completely. Hey guys, so I am in my pajamas. It is the middle of the night right now. I can't sleep. So I'm going to go ahead and do some prepping. And then I finished making the banners for my tent. However, I didn't have enough. So I got some more fabric. I cut some more banners out. I ironed them. I just now have to wait for the sewing machine to come back in so that way I can actually sew it together. And then on top of that, I don't have enough beads. And so I'm going to have to go back to Michael's. Hey guys! So as you can see, I got the banners back here. I got the beads all on the new ones. I have to do the secondary color now. And so I'm gonna try and finish that all today. So that way tomorrow I can have this banner all ready and done for y'all. So after a whole day of sewing or hand sewing, hand stitching, whatever you want to call it, I finally finished all of these. And so now all I gotta do is I gotta snip off the ends and then I gotta glue the backing and then I can finally put it on to that and be done with this. And I might actually be able to use this tomorrow for my show. I am so excited, guys. Oh my God. Morning, guys. I am getting ready for the show. I am packing everything up. It is 6 o'clock in the morning. The show setup is at 8. The place is only like 20 minutes away. My problem is I'm very forgetful. So I am getting up early. I've taken the time to make sure I got everything. And I will be bringing y'all along today, which is exciting. I know you probably didn't think this video is where this was going to go. But, you know, I don't want to waste footage. And I want to make sure that I show y'all the banner in use. So, yeah. All right, guys. Apparently, it is too windy, according to the fire marshal, to have the festival today. Which I would not want my tent, regardless of how much weight I put on it, to just fly off, because apparently the winds are supposed to reach about 40 miles an hour. The good news is that we are rescheduled for tomorrow. I was so excited to show you guys the banner that, you know, a little bit disappointed. However, I have it hung up on the side wall that I'm going to show you, and I am so stinking proud of it. It is so nice. I cannot wait to see it for the craft show tomorrow. I also wanted to just have that video be part of this video. However, I think it would just be better to show you guys the final product now and then just do it like a separate vlog for the festival tomorrow.